Police K-9 handlers across the country say they're outraged with the conduct of a Davis County Sheriff's deputy who is now facing criminal charges, accused of punching his police dog. Fox 13 News investigative reporter Adam Herbetz found how often these types of cases happen in Utah law enforcement and how the U.S. military prevents it.
You can behave. Don't bite the news guy, okay? Good boy, yes. Obviously, he knows what the good boys mean. He's like, yes, I'm a good boy, huh, Dad?
Rob Barlow trains police dogs. This is Reaper, a competition K-9. His other dog, Judge, is at home enjoying retirement.
Most K-9 handlers, there's a special bond between the handler and the dog. I mean, I spent more time with K-9 Judge than I did my own children and my spouse.
Earlier this week, he was one of the thousands of K-9 handlers across the country surprised to learn about this case. The Davis County Sheriff's Office placing Corporal Timothy Robinson on administrative leave, accused of assaulting his dog, Rolf. 2 other K-9 handlers witnessed it. One reported 5 to 10 strikes. The other reported Corporal Robinson punching Rolf with a closed fist multiple times, with Rolf cowering instead of fighting back.
I've been doing this for 32 years, and this is extremely rare. We don't teach punching dogs for corrections. The difference is night and day. And honestly, in the industry, it's generally not an issue because the guys love their dogs, and that's the last thing they want to do is hurt their dogs.
Now, Robinson could go to prison for interfering with a police service dog. Prosecutors in Davis County say the charge is more serious than animal abuse.
I know, big boy.
Barlow says he doesn't want to comment on the specifics of the case.
I don't know the guy personally, but I know the way we train to handle our dogs is we don't teach to abuse the dogs. I really applaud those guys who stood up and reported that because it shows that they're holding themselves to a higher standard.
According to court documents, it started because Rolf peed on the floor, but K-9 handlers say sometimes that's normal.
Especially if they get close to a suspect and they smell that adrenaline.
If the dog has to eliminate and he really has to pee, then we let him. I did feel compelled to do this interview because I want to make sure that the public doesn't think that this is a routine thing. I've never seen it, nor would I tolerate it.
According to the Utah Criminal Justice Institute, there have been 3 sustained cases of animal cruelty by police officers in Utah since 2009.
It's not good for citizens to do or police officers to do.
In the military, K-9s usually outrank their handlers. The U.S. Army says it's a symbol of respect, driving home the point that the human isn't actually in charge. Reporting in Davis County, Adam Herbetz, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Coming up, a huge rally today to save the Great Salt Lake. We speak with the organizers about why this event was so unique. So glad to have you here with us for Fox 13 News. I'm Amy Nay. Utah's youth and Native leaders met at Capitol Hill today in a call to action for the Great Salt Lake. Fox 13 News reporter Lucy Nelson tells us why they want their voices heard ahead of policy-making decisions for the lake.
On the steps of Capitol Hill Saturday afternoon stood Utah's youth.
Without immediate action, total and possibly irreversible ecosystem collapse is knocking at the door.
And Utah's Native people.
What if the tribes had been invited and given a seat at the table?
Sharing their voices in support of a woman they say deserves to be heard, the Great Salt Lake.
We need to start treating the lake as if she has rights, and the plants and animals and water, the air we breathe, everything has a spirit and everything's connected.
Former chairman of the Northwestern Band of the Shoshone Nation, Darren Perry, says looking at the lake through the Native lens could help save the Great Salt Lake.
Native Americans have always looked at how we can make decisions that will benefit future generations and not just short term. And so those are kind of the value systems that we need to start looking at today. How can we govern for the future generations? Because we need to.
Those future generations include Liam Mountain LaMalfa, founder of the Youth Coalition for Great